Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me, as he does every single week that we record the show, we've got Ethan.
I was like, is he going to go with that? And then he's corrected it, so I didn't have to correct you.
Yeah, because we've decided we're going to do bi-weekly shows for a while and not weekly shows, so you're not here every week.
And we're failing miserably at that, too.
Well, so far we have been, but we'll get better, we promise.
Just as soon as someone gets something surgically removed from them, and
well, yeah, health issues, aside, we will be on a bi-weekly schedule going forward. So as long as I'm not in great pain,
yeah,
we will record episodes. So it's been interesting dealing with health issues. Getting old sucks.
Yeah, that's why I don't get old. I just don't.
Like things that you just take for granted, like your gallbladder's just always going to work. And then one day it decides, no, I think I'm done. So you figure out what to do from here. And then you have to figure out what to do from there.
It's like, don't we have the ability to make a artificial gallbladder?
That's a good question.
Just get a 3D printer and hit some buttons.
Yeah, I'm not sure it works quite that way. I think there's a little more to, artificial organs.
You're right. You just need to get you a cat, let you pet it, and have it purr while sitting on top of you. And when that one gets tired,
takes away all
get you another one, let it purr you back to good health,
Yeah, I don't have cats. I have 100-pound dogs.
You used to have like 50 cats and then 25 kids.
Yeah, and I got rid of all of that. So now there are two cats. They're out in the RV in the backyard with my child who lives out there.
Oh.
The dogs are in the house, and the 110-pound Great Pyrenees thinks he's a lap dog, and he's not.
God, Great Pyrenees! I had one of those. Oh. Okay.
He is the most friendly dog I have ever had, but he has no concept of personal space of any kind. Does not realize how big he is, and so he runs into things all the time. And then you can't leave anything on the kitchen counter because he can see the kitchen counter standing on 4 legs because he's that tall.
The one my mom had, it would go into my room, look specifically for my headphones, for the cable on that, and just bite it in half.
Oh, God.
It's just, all right, guess I'm going down to Radio Shack, buying another $10 headset.
Yep, that's why I don't have any headphones right now, because the dog chewed my one pair of headphones that I had up. I just have earbuds now, and I don't buy...
It wasn't even the headphones, it was just the cable. Bite it in half and call it a day.
You'd think he would have chewed up, like, the cups on the ear, ear part, or something like that. Something that looks more edible.
It was just like, I hate this piece specifically right here. It's dead, and now I'm gone.
I have done my duty, protected the house from this evil cord. He was just trying to get you to go wireless, is all it was.
I still haven't.
So, well, it's been a while since we've been on the show. We've both been playing some things.
Yeah, you know what else we've done? Well, you want to know what else I did?
What did you do?
I did something I haven't done since like grade school. I dressed up for Halloween.
Oh, I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah.
I knew you had been like gathering pieces and parts of a costume.
Yes. Got it all. Actually, well, I say I got it all. My trap and my PKE will be in sometime this month, allegedly.
In theory. Just in time for next Halloween.
Yeah. So yeah, I dressed up as a Ghostbuster.
Nice.
Wore the suit all day, wore the boots all day. I wore the backpack for like an hour when we did for work. I wore it to work, and wore it outside of work at work, And then we had to go and do a thing giving out candy, and I wore it for that entire hour and a half thing while we gave out candy. And
Yep.
saw one little girl, like 3 or 4 years old, and she was also wearing a Ghostbuster suit. And I was like, "Oh my
Nice.
god, that's so adorable!" And then she just wouldn't even look at me; just kept walking. And I was like, "Oh,
I saw a video yesterday of a guy and his daughter that were both dressed up like Ghostbusters trick or treating, and then a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man walked across the street, and she started, pretending like she was shooting him with her, ghost busting equipment. And he just started freaking out and, dancing around and being. It was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
it's adorable."
And my kids dressed up as characters from Rain World, which is a game they've been playing.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
And not a single person knew who they were because Rain World is not a super well-known game by any means.
Yeah, I'm
But,
googling it right now because I still don't know what it is. Oh,
but they
it
enjoyed
looks
it.
like
It looks a bit like, I was going to say Animal Well, but not exactly.
Ori.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's much more pixelated than Ori. I mean, it's got a.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that super pretty art style that Ori does, but it is similar.
So are they like the little what are these chinchilla?
They're called slug cats in the game, but no, they were dressed up as these other characters from them. I can send you pictures at some point.
I see something named Five Pebbles.
Five Pebbles is who Andrew was dressed like, and Abby was dressed as Looks to the Moon, I think is the character's name.
I have no idea.
So they didn't go completely all out because, like, the characters have blue and pink skin, and they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to paint their faces or wear like bodysuits or anything like that. They just had the robes and the little headband things that the characters have on.
Okay. That's cool.
But they enjoyed it, even if even if nobody knew who they were. And a couple of Andrew's friends went with us. One of them was dressed up in a Stitch onesie, and then another one of his friends was dressed up as Steve from Minecraft.
Probably, what, like just dressed up, or did he have like square stuff?
No, he was just dressed up. Like he was cosplaying Jack Black as Steve, basically.
Okay, I was about to ask about the Jack Black thing too. All right, you clarified. We're good.
Yeah, not the blocky Steve, the Minecraft movie version.
Did he say it the right way too? He goes,
Yes,
and Steve.
I and Steve. Yes, if somebody asks,
and then you got that long pause, then am Steve. You got to stare out at like a certain angle with that 1,000-mile stare into the sun.
He did exactly that.
Nice.
So. Well, apart from playing Ghostbuster, what else have you been playing?
Video games. I don't know if you heard of those.
I have. We played one together earlier this week.
Yeah, we went on observation duty.
We did.
7.
Which I guess is a brand new release.
Yeah, I think it came out like last week, if not the week before. So it hasn't been out for too long. So like I wasn't getting hounded with guides or anything here. I'm actually trying to see what the release date was. It came out on the 22nd. So yeah, it'd been out about a week by the time we got it. I don't think we've talked about observation duty on this show before. If we have,
I don't know if we have, actually.
The best way I can describe it would be think that you're just think Five Nights at Freddy's, but you're only looking at the security footage. And you're
Five Nights at Freddy's without the scares.
Oh, there's still scares. All you're trying to do is you're trying to pick what doesn't belong, essentially, or what's different.
Yes.
And you have to identify it, tag it to get it fixed. And once you get 4 of these,
so you'll be looking at the
as they're known as, once you have 3 of them, you get a warning saying, "Hey, you're about to get killed by these things," and then the 4th one hits and you're dead.
Yeah, so you're constantly just flipping through the security camera footage, and you're looking for, sometimes it's the stupidest, tiniest little thing that has changed, like
the little
a
can that
door.
was sitting on a bench. I was like, "Hey, Jason, does that belong there?" He's like, "I don't know. Let's click it and find out." How did you know that? Oh my goodness! Or doors that were
Or
flipped.
like a door on a locker will be flipped, or a weird demon looking guy will just show up on the camera footage at some point.
Yeah,
And
that's always fun flipping through the cameras. That guy just pops up and it's like, "Hey, I'm here." It's like, "Oh, okay." Intruder alert! Here we go.
yep. It's really fun. Like, I don't know that I'd want to sit there and play it by myself, but the way we play it with a big group of people just flipping through and having fun,
Which is
goofing
technically
off, essentially
cheating,
while we
as
do it.
in my opinion, because it's like all of us are like learning the room ourselves and for different things, and we all have our different things that we're looking for, and so it's basically turned into a group project rather than
Yeah,
like I think like watching Game Grumps or Markiplier play it, where like Game Grumps is two people, but I mean they're making jokes and commenting back and forth, so their observation's not fully there until later on, like halfway through, when Aaron's like all in on there. Whereas Markiplier, he's trying
yeah,
to do it from the start while being entertaining and yelling into the mic.
yeah. I like the way we play it better.
Never play the third game. That's all I can say about that. If you have
Didn't we
any,
play the third game?
I showed it off briefly, or Jason did, one of us, or we didn't. I don't know. Third game is bad. Just that's all you need to know. So play all the other ones in the series. Let's see what else is on my list here. Destiny 2. I'll keep this one brief. They started their Halloween event. The same thing they've been doing for like the last 5 years. They streamlined it a little bit. And so that's nice.
Yeah, I have not
Yeah.
even looked at Destiny 2 in a long time.
Don't even bother. It's like you can day one everything was broken. A shotgun was being given out to everyone by the vendor, Eva Levante, I think's her name. I call her grandma in the game. And it has like two perks that are never supposed to be together on a shotgun. And it's an incredibly awesome shotgun to have. But it's just, guys, do something different. Please. We're tired of the same Halloween event every year.
Well, I think at this point, Destiny 2 support is starting to dwindle.
Oh, very much so. In fact, Destiny Rising, I think the closed alpha testing just started up and people were showing off footage of that stuff. I saw a brief video just scrolling through Twitter. I was like, this looks like Destiny, but not. What is it? Oh, it is Destiny, but it's not Destiny.
I'm kind of curious to see how Destiny is going to work on mobile devices.
I don't know. I hope they do a PC version of it too, just so we can still have a PC version, I guess. Kind of like what Blizzard
Maybe we'll get a
did.
Switch version.
If it's simplified enough, I don't see why they couldn't. And it's not like they're having to track your save data, they're tracking pre-made character save data instead.
Yeah.
So yeah, Destiny 2, meh. Let's see. Order of Ecclesia. This is a Castlevania game.
It is.
This is a Castlevania game that released on the Nintendo DS.
That is also true.
And it recently released on console and PC. Also
is it
true.
on all consoles?
I'm pretty sure. If not,
I didn't know if it was just Switch or if it came to the others.
I don't see why it wouldn't be on the others. I think the other collection's released on there too. So yeah, I don't see a reason why
I think so.
I'm not going to look into it. You just Google it. It's part of the
Dominus collection.
Thank you, the Castlevania Dominus collection. Do not say that again.
I'm muting.
Sorry, something went.
Nope. Gosh. There.
Yeah, so this is the most recent collection. I think the previous one was the Advanced Collection, and then the one before that was the Anniversary Collection.
Yeah, which was the NES and Super Nintendo games.
Yes, and my personal favorites fall into the Advance and the Dominus collections. There, Dominus Collection is Order of Ecclesia, Portrait of Ruin, and Dawn of Sorrow.
Yep.
I think Dawn of Sorrow was the first one, then it was Portrait of Ruin, then Order of Ecclesia was the third one. So it went super into the anime because that's what the Aria of Sorrow from the Advanced Collection and the direct sequel Dawn of Sorrow were. They were your anime variants of the Castlevania series there, which have now gone full on anime with the Netflix shows.
Yep.
I need to watch that new one. Anyway.
I haven't seen the new one. I saw the first show.
Stuart said I needed to watch it, I think. So, I mean, I plan to anyway. But anyway, I decided to play Order of Ecclesia. That was like the one I liked the most. Portrait of Ruin being the second one I liked the most. So, anyway, went into Order of Ecclesia expecting, play through there, just get 100%, call it a day, be done doing side missions and all that. I forgot how rough this game was. And it seems even more challenging now because it's not like it's just a direct port. There's a few little things here and there, like quality of life, screen stuff, I guess, but it also seems like it's just harder overall. And I'm talking to Stuart and Jason, like, yeah, it was tough. And then I'm just playing through it and it's just, I'm getting wrecked by the simplest of things. But thankfully, there's a rewind feature built into the game.
Yeah, I imagine once I get to the DS games, I'll be using the rewind feature quite a bit. I've been playing the GBA collection right now.
I abused that rewind so very much. And it seems like it advances the enemy attack by like 1 frame or something. So whenever you're like unpausing wherever it is you're at on there, they've advanced slightly. So it's like whatever you're doing, you need to plan a little bit more ahead before you unpause. Yeah. So that's a fun little thing on there. Anyway, beat the game. I was level 43. I think level 50 is the max. And then immediately showed off a glitch that I read about that throws you go into boss rush mode and pulling in your save data. And normally you can't use your ticket to go to the town on there or the store to escape and then buy stuff. But if you do a trick where you're hitting the down button and the X button at the same time on a usable item, it'll register you trying to use that but show the other item instead. And so you just warp out your level 50, save your data, quit the game, reload and load your save, and you're like, hey, here I am, level 50. And you can do that into a new game plus or just a new game and start at level 50 from the start.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I may abuse that. I don't know. It depends if I want to punish myself playing that more. But
the answer is no. You don't want to punish yourself. No.
And the main character, Shinoa, she's one of my favorite characters in the series. She's got this whole glyph function and everything, where she absorbs the ability. It is thundering and lightning outside. I do apologize, but she can like steal enemies' abilities depending on who you fight on there. It's you can kind of think of it like an early prototype idea for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, and in combination with Aria / Dawn of Sorrow, because like you combine those 2/3 games, that becomes Ritual of the Night. It's a real interesting thing. Let's see.
I'm looking forward to getting a chance to play those, but I need to get through the advanced collection first.
Right, and I would say in your case, like once you get done with Aria of Sorrow, move on to Dawn of Sorrow since that's a direct sequel.
Okay.
Let's see. Did that. Monster Hunter World demo released for PlayStation Plus users on Tuesday. and then it went public for
Monster
everyone
Hunter
else.
Wilds.
Oh, World Wilds. Yes, Wilds. I abbreviated it MWH. Thank you, Tony, for correcting me. The Wilds, Monster Hunter Wilds. Anyway, the demo went public for everyone else today or something like that. So you can play it on Steam, I think Xbox. I played it. It is nice to get back to that. There's a whole new targeting function in there. So even as a greatsword user, I can target very specific points on a monster now
That's really nice.
It's like you keep attacking a certain area, it gets more damage, then you do a targeting mode and you hit a different attack button that like R1 I think is what it is, and you do this thing where you chop down and then you just start rushing with holding your blade up like through them, and if you hit one of those targeted zones it cripples the monster briefly. So it's like
nice.
a good way to knock them down now. It's really awesome.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to check this out. I didn't know the demo was out yet.
Yeah, I think it's only for this weekend, so you might want to do that like tonight or tomorrow.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to this game a lot more now. And I did my best to make my little Palico look like Peach, my kitty cat.
Of course.
Working with what I got, but you do what you can with what you got. And now for what Tony's been wanting me to talk about, I played a little game called Mini and Max. I did this today.
Which I do not know anything about. You're going to like this. So I'm very curious what this is.
This is very much a retro style video game. You have a jump, you have like a jump, and then you have a other button that picks up stuff, Super Mario Brothers 2 style. Anyway, you play as a young girl, and I don't know if it's like a sister or something, or a babysitter or what, or some kind of family member locks you up in a storage building out back or something. I don't know. And she puts your dog in there with you, and you start talking to the dog after like 2 hours have passed. And the dog's like, why don't we just shrink? And you're like, oh, okay, we can do that. And the dog's like, yeah, just think small. And so you shrink down. I know it's on Steam. Look up UFO 50.
Oh, this is part of that collection.
Yes.
I am very curious about this. I heard Jeff Gerstmann talking about this game a couple weeks ago. Not Mini and Max specifically, but UFO 50.
It's a collection of 50 games to play, and they're all retro style. It's really, really good. This is the first one I played. I was like, I want to play this one. I know I'll play some of the other ones. And it's just kind of picking and choosing, because there's going to be some duds in that collection, but some of these are really good. And this one's kept me occupied for a couple of hours today.
Yeah.
Because you're in this very small room. You can shrink down. And it's like, okay, there's 2 potted plants in here, so I can shrink down standing on the left one, do whatever. Oh, there's a city or a little population of people here. They're like, hey, we need to get something over to the population on the other plant. You're like, oh. No, wait, no. Let me correct myself. You shrink down, you're like the size of a bug. You're running around seeing other bugs. You talk to this guy who's like, oh yeah, I've lived here forever. And he gives you the ability to shrink again. Microscopic. And that's when you find these other people. And they're like, yeah, the people on the other side. And so then you have to enlarge, jump over to the other plant, shrink back down, find their village. And it's like you do some back and forth, and you're climbing like a bookshelf. There's a piggy bank, there's books, there's a train. There's people that worship a lamp for some reason.
I mean, why not?
It's all kinds of craziness in there. I'm loving it. This is a very simple NES style game.
Yeah, I am very curious about UFO 50. It's on my wish list. I haven't had a chance to pick it up yet.
Yeah, like if you see this game for sale for like it like 20 or less, it's like hop on that, and I think it's already a $20 game, isn't it?
It's 25 right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. Huh. But yeah, like, well, heck, that's not even a bad price. That's 50 cents a game in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's well worth the price. You got to have money to be able to do that kind of thing.
Exactly. Um, and I know there's like a game where you do like basically tower defense as cavemen. I'm looking forward to playing that, and there's various other ones I just want to try. So, but right now I'm on the.
I can't remember what the name of the game is that Jeff Gerstmann was talking about that he really really liked, but it's like an idle game. Um, in this collection, I cannot remember what it was called. But he was like, you do something in here and then you go do some other stuff. You have to have the game on and you have to be doing things in the game for the idle part of this game to work. You can't just like come back to it later.
Oh, okay. You mean that kind of idle? I was like,
Yeah.
IDOL.
No, IDLE.
Okay, so yeah, I didn't know about that. That's interesting. Okay. Um, but yeah, UFO 50. There's so much in there. I can be occupied for like the rest of the year and then some, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'll spare you the Phasmophobia stuff that released on console. We played it. Still Phasmo. It's difficult now, so yay.
Mhm.
Tony.
It's pretty much just Phasmophobia.
Yes. Tony, what have you been playing while I drink water and rehydrate?
What's up? I have been playing a couple different things right now. One um, is the new Call of Duty game, Black Ops 6. I have been playing around with. I typically, when I play Call of Duty games, but I usually play them about 2 years after they come out so that they're on, super deep sale. Because I don't care about the multiplayer. I only play, you know, Call of
Single
Duty for the
player?
campaign. Yeah. I've dabbled a little bit in multiplayer every time, but I don't, I usually bounce off of it pretty quick because I am awful at Call of Duty multiplayer. I will always be awful at Call of Duty multiplayer. I don't have the time to get good playing Call of Duty multiplayer. And the new movement stuff in Black Ops 6 just makes it insane. Like you have, when you're running, you press a button and you can slide and dive and, dive through doors and do all kinds of stuff. And you just see people doing all this weird, crazy stuff. And I can't do that kind of stuff. That's not how my brain works. I
Well, they all learn
don't
kung
care
fu
about. So
and
I've been
parkour.
playing. I have been playing the single player campaign of Black Ops 6 because it's on Game Pass for the first time, and so I don't have to pay for it because I just have a Game Pass subscription. And
Yeah,
this
yeah.
campaign was incredible. I love this campaign from start to finish. It takes place in '91 during Desert Storm,
Oh,
and you're doing all kinds of clandestine stuff and things behind the scenes, and of course it's all kinds of espionage and double crossing and you know who's actually pulling the strings of all of this, and you find out it's I don't want to say because it will spoil the story, but um, it's typical espionage stuff. If you've seen things like The Bourne Identity or Mission Impossible, you know exactly the kind of things to expect in this campaign. But it was really good from start to finish. I played Modern Warfare 3 when it came to Game Pass earlier this year, and I bounced off of that pretty quickly because they tried to turn it into like an open world thing. And so you would drop into a map Fortnite style, and then it was up to you to do whatever you wanted, however you wanted to do it. And I didn't think the open world aspect of it worked that well for me.
too many people doing the
Um,
gritty right there in front of you.
I mean, yeah, I mean, when you see Call of Duty guys just grittying in front of you, you just like, I can't handle this. No, but this one gets back to much more streamlined. Like you are going from point A to point B, very specific places. They give you a couple of different ways to go about it. So you can, it's like the 3-lane thing in some MOBAs or whatever. So you've got different ways that you can approach it, but you're going from this spot to this spot, and you have a very specific set of things that you need to do. And that is what I like about Call of Duty. It reminds me very much of those old World War II Call of Duties up through Modern Warfare 1. The first Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, not Modern Warfare 1. But this one, they do some really interesting and fun stuff with the campaign to break up the just constant shooting gameplay. So at one point, you've got to figure out something, and you've got to do it without using a gun. And so you infiltrate this like political, hoity-toity, snooty party thing. Drinks being served, casino. It takes place in like a casino. It's like a underground casino type thing.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and so you go into this area disguised as like a reporter, and you have 3 different things that you can do. One of them is to talk to this senator's wife that you're trying to get something from, and you discover, of course, he's having an affair, and you can figure out how to get evidence of that and give it to his wife. What are the other ways to do it? I don't even remember, because I that was the first option given. I was like, that sounds interesting. Let's try that, see what happens. And so that's the one that I did. And so you just go in, and it is all about being sneaky, using your camera. You can use your camera to mark like security guards so that you can see them through walls and see where they're moving back and forth. Um, so it's a
Okay.
little
Okay.
stealthy.
Got my
There's
attention.
another point in the game where you have to there's this missile site that you have to go in and like sabotage. There's 3 things you need to do. You need to plant some explosives on a helicopter. You need to disable the radar so that the rest of your team can get in and rescue you when things go down. And then you have to destroy some surface to air missiles. And it gives you multiple ways to do all of those things. You can go in and you can talk to someone and just observe things around them and use that to kind of charm your way into, achieving your objective. Or if you want, go in guns blazing, see what happens. And they're like, that's a perfectly viable option if that's what you want to do. And so it gives you multiple ways then to tackle that specific thing, but it still is, it's in a very contained map. It's not a huge open world that you're trying to do all of this stuff in. It's a very tight and streamlined Call of Duty experience. And I I enjoyed it from the beginning to the end. And there's a couple small places where some mini bosses are kind of like bullet sponges, but there's no Metal Gear Solid style. You have to take on, giant mechs with your bare hands or
Oh,
whatever.
oh, now I'm not interested
Boss
anymore.
fight type stuff.
Thanks.
Sorry. But it is really, really good. I played a little bit of the multiplayer. It's Call of Duty multiplayer. The zombies mode is super fun. I'm really liking that. That is it's a combination of like Modern Warfare 3's open world zombies thing with some of the older wave based stuff, where you have a map and you start off in a very small section of it, and you have to kill waves of zombies to earn credit that you can use to unlock different sections of the map. And you go in, it's you and up to 3 other people. Um, and you get all of the perks that you would get in the multiplayer stuff. So you have like an RC card, you have a nuke that you can set off a nuke and it kills all the zombies on the map, um, and do all this kind of stuff. And then you also have to use that same currency to buy new weapons, to upgrade your weapons, to buy ammunition. And I'm having a blast with it. It's been really fun to just get in, play with some random people, and you know, play through a wave of stuff. Every few waves, you have an extraction opportunity, so that if you think it's starting to get too tough for you, you can have yourself extracted and basically get sort of like a mini success, rather than just being completely overwhelmed and defeated and not earning as many bonuses as you would if
Are you
you
able to
played through
play as
all.
Richard Nixon in this?
No, not right now. It is a very
Oh,
small selection of operators. It's not celebrities, it's other characters from the game. So you're not playing as Richard Nixon or John Cena or anybody like that.
was it the first Black Ops where they had it where you could play as like former presidents and stuff right from the get go?
There was I think it might have been the first Black Ops game where the zombies mode you could play as different presidents, yeah. And then they of course started tossing in different celebrities in the multiplayer mode. And so but yeah, I'm enjoying Call of Duty. It's a lot of fun right now. I will probably end up picking this one up and having it in my collection a couple of years from now once it drops in price. Um, but it's been really really good. And then the other thing I've been playing is completely different from that. Hatch Tales finally released on the Switch.
10 years
This
later.
it's been six.
Six
It's
years
been
later.
so. I think the original game came out in 2017 on the 3DS. It was originally called Chicken Wiggle on the 3DS, and a few years ago, Atui announced that they were doing an HD remake of Chicken Wiggle. And this is not really a remake. This is sort of pseudo sequel almost. Um, but it's called Hatch Tales. You play as a bird, and instead of having a worm in your backpack, you have a hook shot. The gameplay's still the same. It's the platforming sections are very tight, and it's very Mutant Muds like in that respect, except that you have limited movement. Your jump is very short, unlike Mutant Muds where you can float a little ways. You have to use the hook shot in this to be able to traverse different parts or of the map, or use it to stun enemies so that you can then get close to them and take them out
I
with your
wonder
beak.
why did they get rid of the worm and why did they make him brown instead of yellow?
I don't really know. That character is still there. You can use him because it has the level editor and everything, and you can pick that character in the level editor and create levels using that character.
Okay, we need to
And I
call
think there is
Jules and be like, hey man, what's going on here?
I think there's a secret way to unlock the old Chicken Wiggle game, and you get to play as the old character in that. Um,
Okay.
One way is to beat the game. There is a secret code that you can enter on like the title screen to be able to just unlock it from the beginning, but I don't know what that is, and I haven't asked. But I'm working on this. I'm working on a video review of this, and I'm enjoying it. It's really fun. I like the platforming stuff that Atui does. Renegade Kid, Mutant Mudds was a fantastic game.
I've never heard of it.
Zeo Drifter was really good. This one is really good. I enjoyed this one a lot on the 3DS. And apparently, all of the user created content from the 3DS version of the game came over because I was searching through the created levels just to see what was out there. And the old level that I had made for Chicken Wiggle was on there, and it had like 90 something plays. People had been playing it. So,
Cool.
and I didn't realize that. I didn't know any of that content was going to come over. But that just came out this week. It is really, I'm enjoying the heck out of it. I'm going to put some more time into it and work on that video review put up on the YouTube channel at some point in the next week or so. But that is what I have been playing. Nintendo was in the news a lot this week.
Yeah, they were.
Like, it was a pretty heavy Nintendo news week with some surprises that just came out of nowhere.
Here's the biggest surprise right now is they released an alarm clock and you can run Doom on it.
I saw that today. I was like,
Yeah.
of course, someone has figured out how to put
Did you see how they play
Doom
it?
on. No, I did not.
That little top part, the little thingy on top, you have to like rotate your finger around that to turn and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
That is both amazing and sounds like the worst way to play Doom possible.
Oh, it looked bad, but it functions. That's the important part.
So it seems like with Switch winding down and everybody's just in this waiting mode for Switch 2, whatever that's going to be revealed. And every insider is like, it's going to happen this week. It's going to happen this week. It's going to happen this week. And of course, it doesn't happen this week because Nintendo doesn't operate the same way as everybody else. But one thing that Nintendo did say was that going into 2025, the Switch library is going to be bolstered with just like remakes. They're talking to third parties and trying to get them to partner with them to do some remakes for the Switch library. Whilst I assume Nintendo and some of the other developer partners are working on launch stuff for whatever is coming after the Switch. But the thing is that Nintendo just seems to be like, let's just put out let's announce a new thing, and it just surprise announcement after surprise announcement has been happening. One that just came out of nowhere was they announced the music app for iOS and Android.
Yeah, they did.
There you go. You know, no,
We were
no
expecting
fanfare.
we were expecting the Switch 2. What we misunderstood was Switch Tunes.
Yes. It seems like Nintendo's had a direct, and they've just sort of broken it up into a bunch of different things because it's not, all of the announcements together maybe wouldn't make a super exciting direct, but separately as surprise announcements, they're kind of cool. This Nintendo Music app, it's out for both iOS and Android right now. It's got a fairly limited selection of stuff on it. It's not a huge library. I mean, it's a pretty decent sized library. I've been listening to it for a couple of days now, and picking and choosing my favorite things. The user interface is really nice. It's got really nice, box art for all of the games. It's got some curated playlists. You can make your own playlists, favorite songs that you want in there. The one thing that was missing at the very beginning of the launch was Super Mario Wonder music. I was really hoping to be able to just boot up the Nintendo Music app, listen to the Piranha Plants on Parade,
Yeah.
and but it wasn't there.
Yeah, neither
So
was Super Mario Sunshine soundtrack.
I settled for some Mario Galaxy stuff and listened to Gusty Garden Galaxy. Some of the Metroid Prime remake stuff is on there. The very next day, though, Nintendo announced they had updated the app and added Super Mario Wonder. So Piranha Plants on Parade is there. I went and listened to it immediately and favorited it as one of my favorite songs.
So it's on there now.
Yes.
Looking it up right
there's
now.
There's some weird choices, like the Dr. Mario music is the Game Boy version of Dr. Mario and not the NES or the N64 versions of Dr. Mario, which arguably have much better versions of the songs. But yeah, it's there. You have to be a Switch Online subscriber to be able to use it. And as soon as you boot it up, you have to link your Switch Online ID with the app, or you can't even listen to anything in there.
Mario Wonder, 35 tracks, an hour and a half worth of listening.
Yep, it's really good. Mario Odyssey is in there. One thing that keeps throwing me off is I keep hearing music. I'm like, that's from Yoshi's Island, and I look at my thing and it says Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario World 2, and I'm like, I know that's the actual name of the game, but nobody in America calls it that. It's just Yoshi's Island.
It did have that on the title, though.
I mean, that's true. So, there's that. So, if you're wanting to listen to some Nintendo soundtracks, you can, and you are a Switch Online subscriber, you can download the Nintendo Music app. I'm hoping this gets pretty regular updates, and eventually we just have a huge selection of music. It's got some Splatoon, but it's only Splatoon 3, not 1 or 2. There is zero Luigi's Mansion music in there at all, which makes me very unhappy.
Yeah, missed opportunity for Friday.
Especially because it launched right around Halloween. Yeah. So it would have been the perfect time to put out some Luigi's Mansion music, but no. So I hope that gets added at some point, because I'd really like to just, have the Luigi's Mansion soundtrack on loop. And I know you can do that through like YouTube and whatever, but it's nice to have just an official, here's where you go if you want to listen to this music specifically without having to deal with YouTube and all the
YouTube and ad blocking and just, I hate to have to deal with all that.
And, not being able to turn your phone screen off because you don't pay for YouTube Premium.
Right.
So if you minimize the window, the music stops.
I
All
don't know.
that
Some of
stuff.
those you
Let's
can
see what
minimize and it stays open, like on the screen, which is nice.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. The new Pokemon trading card game app launched this week as well. And Nintendo was very quick, or Game Freak, one of the two, was very quick to announce that within like the first 24 hours, it had 10 million downloads. Uh,
I
I've
somehow
downloaded it. I've messed around with it a little bit.
I somehow missed that one.
I don't know how I saw it. Somebody might have been talking about it on Twitter, and that's when I saw that you could get it. So I went and downloaded and messed around with it. It's
I
sort of it's a modified version of the trading card game.
hmm.
It's not the full version. You have decks of 20 cards. Uh, you just get one random energy every turn. You can set up decks to have specific energy, but if you use some of the pre-made decks, they have like 2 or 3 different types of energy, and it just gives you a random one every turn. It's not like you're drawing the energy from your deck. Um, you can't even play a battle until you get like level 3 in the app, which means you have to just unlock a ton of or open a ton of booster packs because you earn booster packs every day. You can earn more booster packs through doing things in the app. It's a really nice app. It's really well laid out. You can see your entire collection of cards really easily. You can set favorite cards and put them on like backgrounds and things like that. You can build your own decks once you have enough cards. I don't know if there's any integration with like the physical things. So, like if you open physical packs, you can like scan them into the app or anything like that. I don't think there's anything like that right now.
Hmm.
Um, so, but once you reach level 3, you can start to do battles, and it's got single player offline battles against AI, or you can play
Oh,
online against other people.
I like that.
Um,
Where I don't have to play against other people and lose every time.
Yeah, well, I played one match against a random person, and they put a Magikarp out turn 1. They had another Pokemon as their active Pokemon, but on their bench they put out a Magikarp. Turn 2, they evolved that into a Gyarados and just started piling energy on it, and basically ignored and sacrificed their first active Pokemon so that I could take it out. And then they put Gyarados on there. I had nothing that I could use to handle Gyarados, so I got my butt handed to me. So that was fun. I probably won't play too much against random people, but you can make friends and send friend requests so you can play with friends at some point. But I'll probably, if I play it much, I'll just do the offline battles against the AI. Uh, it's got, of course, all kinds of gotcha mechanics
Of
where you can
course.
you know, buy in-game currency to open more packs and do all that stuff. So it's just like the card game. The more money you have, the better equipped you're going to be to, uh, be able to battle people. So, but it's a really pretty app. Um, and then just out of nowhere, one of the most wanted games from the Wii U library was announced for the Switch in Xenoblade Chronicles X. It is getting a
Yeah.
remastered version on Switch.
So I just talked to, was it you or was it Stuart or was it both of y'all, like separately, I guess, about that?
I mean, we've had conversations over the years about Xenoblade Chronicles X.
It was like just last week. I'm like, man, if that came to Switch, I'd be all over playing that because it's like I don't want to play the Wii U version because I got to hook up the Wii U, and the battery on that gamepad doesn't last very long, and I'm lost as can be on there. Like, I'll play a updated version of it happily. And
I
now
have
here we
not
are.
played the I have not played the Wii U version because you needed to download a bunch of stuff, and I didn't have space for it. I didn't want to make space for Xenoblade Chronicles X. I've seen like 4 copies at my local game store for like $25, and I've been like, I should just break down and buy a copy of this game and play it. My Wii U is hooked up right here in my office next to my computer. Um, I have no reason not to, other than I just don't want to spend $25 to play Xenoblade Chronicles X. Um, and now I'm just going to wait, and I'll pay $60 for the Switch version. So, you know, that makes
Yeah,
perfect sense.
yeah.
But it looks really nice. Like the updated graphics are really good. I know there's going to be all kinds of quality of life stuff that they upgrade the game with.
Yeah, people have been showing off like the cat under the bench quality of life upgrades. And it's like you can actually see the cat now and it's not just dark and it stands out.
Yeah, yeah. But this is one of those games. This now puts all four Xenoblade Chronicles games on one system. So you can play Xenoblade Chronicles 1, 2, the Torna expansion, 3, and now Xenoblade Chronicles X all on the Switch. If they would do that for Luigi's Mansion, that would be really nice. I'd like to have all three Luigi's Mansion games on the Switch.
Well, Tony, you're not me, so I'm the one that has the wish for it, and it's not happening anytime soon.
Well, could you please wish for Luigi's Mansion on the Switch? Please.
Maybe.
Now, of course, people are like, when are we going to get the two Zelda games on Switch?
Those are
because
those are already remakes.
already,
we don't need them.
Yeah, we don't need remakes of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess because they're on the Switch and they're perfectly good versions of those games. And Nintendo doesn't do that. They don't remake the game. At least I don't think they've ever really done that. They don't remake a game and then for the next system remake the game again. I mean,
Maybe.
there might be some. I mean, Mario Kart 8, I guess you could say, is sort of like that.
No, that's only had like one other release on another console, which is what we're currently on.
Yeah.
But it's like if you look at oh gosh, what is that? Well, like there's Super Mario Brothers, then there's Super Mario Brothers or Super Mario All Stars, then there's Super Mario Brothers Advance or something on the GBA or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's porting. Those are just ports of those games to the different systems. It's not like a remake.
The Super Mario Brothers Deluxe. I don't know. I wouldn't say that's a port. I'd say that's a challenging version of that game zoomed in incredibly far for no reason.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that was hardware limitations that forced them to do something like that, though. It wasn't I don't think that was a design choice. They were like, this is the only way we can get this game on this system is to do this. But I can't think of anything that's gotten a remake and then that remake got ported to the next system right after that. So, but yeah, I am very much looking forward to playing Xenoblade Chronicles X. I will be playing this when it comes to the Switch. It'll give. I really should go back and play 3. I haven't played 3. I've played 1 and 2. I played 1 on the Wii. I have not played the updated version on the Switch.
I have 1, 2, and 3 on the Switch ready to play. I've never played them.
The first one's so good. Like I really like
it. Zuli was like, "Hell, you should play this," and I'm like, "Okay." And now I got it. I just haven't played it.
Now you need to make that decision. I'm playing through all the Xenoblade Chronicles games leading up to X. So that's your challenge.
What's sad is I ordered like that collector's edition of X on Wii U or something. I have like the little that USB dongle that came with it with the music on it.
Oh gosh.
I used it I used it on the old computer just to see if it worked, and it still worked.
Oh, nice. That's nice. Yep. So that is all the surprise announcements from Nintendo this week, and then the last thing talk about, I guess, the date for what we affectionately call the Winter Keeleys has been announced.
The Game Awards.
The Game Awards.
Gosh, where is it? December 12th. So
I guess there's no voting yet. It's just they've just announced the date, right?
yeah, the date of the event. So I think what is the week or two going into, or there's a couple of weeks where we have voting time in there going up to the event, and then we can complain about whoever paid the most to win.
Of course.
Yeah. Whoever Jeff's going to favorite because he likes them better because they didn't make him mad or something.
Yeah, so we'll know pretty soon what game of the year is going to be.
And we'll see
based on the
Kojima
title.
showing off probably more of Death Stranding 2.
Yeah, Kojima's going to make an appearance. Of course, he makes an appearance at at everything that Jeff Keighley does.
Yeah, been seeing a lot of pictures of him on Twitter or X lately, where he's like holding a controller and working on a game, and has like a plushie in his lap of the worm from that series.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would imagine we will probably I won't say probably, we may do something related to the Game Awards, whether it's a live stream of the show. We've done that a couple of times in the past, or just a podcast going over all of the stuff. So,
all right.
But yep, that's about it's a little over a month away. So,
yeah, Christmas is like a month away almost.
Christmas is coming. I bought the first Christmas present for you guys this week. I'm not gonna say what it is, but it's for Cole.
Yeah,
I showed you.
Yeah.
You know what it is.
Yeah, I laughed when I saw that. I was like, "Yep, you got him."
I immediately was like, I have to get this. There's no question about it. So, but that will be the show for this week, Ethan. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about before we head out.
No, not really.
All right. Well, then I guess that means we will see everybody again in a couple of weeks.
Awesome. See you next time, everyone.
Bye, everybody.